November 20th brings us a pretty major eclipse activation from last spring. So we're going to see the South Node land at the eclipse degree, and that is going to perhaps bring a succession in terms of some of the storylines that began last spring. So let's take a look. So that particular degree was 5 degrees Libra and 7 minutes. That's where we saw an eclipse on March 25th, 2024. So we know that eclipses, those spots on the zodiac, they stay sensitive for a long while. We can be in development with that eclipse story for up to a year, sometimes longer, as some astrologers would argue. So we're going to see the South Node arrive at that point. That's a major eclipse trigger where we would expect to see further developments in these stories. So I just did a quick little Google search to see what was going on last eclipse season, just kind of refresh my memory. So I'm just going to go down this list here, and this might be fun for some of us to see, like, what develops here. So we see the first Neuralink patient plays chess for the first time. We see Mike Pence refuses to endorse Trump. We see the Nickelodeon expose quiet on the set. We see Duchess Catherine, Duchess of Wales, announces her cancer diagnosis. P. Diddy's home is raided. That was like what started all this. And we saw last eclipse season continued that story too. We see the first UN allegations of Palestinian genocide at this time. We see the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapses when a shipping, like a boat of shipping containers crashes into it. We see Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX sentenced for 25 years for fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. Beyonce unleashes her album Cowboy Carter. We see the World Kitchen workers killed when they're trying to deliver aid. Senegal elects their youngest president, which is like kind of like an Aries eclipsey story, like electing someone young, new, fresh, someone with like a different background politically. And then Taylor Swift becomes a billionaire. So those were the top headlines that caught my eye around the world at that time. So it'll be interesting to see what develops and if we see any continuations of any of these stories here. And perhaps some of those stories are connected to this eclipse in particular. Maybe some of them were connected to that other eclipse at 19 Aries, in which case we would not see an activation here. So just doing this for fun, little experiment. So let's see what happens. And think back in your life too. Think back to what was going on for you at that time, at the end of March of 2024. Do you have any planets at 5 degrees? I'd say probably between 3 to 7 degrees, especially of the cardinal signs, maybe of the air signs. Yeah, those would be the ones that would feel it the most. So look at your chart. Do you have any planets between 3 degrees and 7 degrees of the cardinal signs? That would be Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. This could be an important development for you personally because eclipses are course correctors. They help reshape the direction of our life. We're going to see major changes develop. We're going to see storylines end, like our purpose kind of like implodes over here and then we realize something else over here. So the eclipses are always kind of reshaking things out for us and reshaping. So take a look at your own chart too and see if there's anything crucial that's developing for you around that time. So for right now, that is your little eclipsey update astrology shot of the day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine. You can also head on over to my website, catherineurban.com, where you can book your next astrology reading. We'll go into depth into your natal chart, your progressions, your profections, your solar return, your transits, and beyond. You can also join my mailing list where you can stay up to date with me on new classes as well as article drops. I look forward to connecting with you, and I'll see you next time.